tough one tonight in terms of the overall performance out of the Padres, especially offensively. You saw a little bit of life there in the first inning. Thought maybe the Padres could get a couple of runners on. I mean, they scored first, which was great to see. It might have been on a little bit of a fluke hit out of Xander Bogaerts, but overall tonight, I mean, it was pretty much a pitcher's duel between Michael King and Matthew Liberatore. I mean, they both went 6 innings. They both gave up 1 earned run. King gave up just 1 hit. Liberatore gave up 3 hits. 3 walks for Liberatore and 2 for Michael King. They had the same amount of strikeouts. Again, a couple extra hits for Liberatore and a couple extra walks, or 1 extra walk. And for Michael King, he gave up the 1 long ball. I mean, that's pretty much it today for the San Diego Padres and for the St. Louis Cardinals. It was a pretty quick game today. Wasn't really an offensive juggernaut, if you will. So overall, it's one of those games that the Padres are going to drop. I mean, you're going to drop 60. You're going to win 60. It's what you do in the other 42 that really matter. And, tough one to start the weekend series, but you got them for 4. And this is a Cardinals team that's red hot right now. Both teams have the exact same record, 22-15. So, overall, it's tough to really break down games like this, like tonight, because both offenses unable to really do anything very threatening, if you will. I mean, you go through the list, they had the 1 inning in the 7th. I mean, Bradley Rodriguez, pitching after he pitched only 7 pitches yesterday as the opener for the Padres. He came in, gave up a leadoff double by Jordan Walker, and then, really the play of the game was the fly ball to right field. I mean, that's the biggest thing that you can really take out of today's game is the fly ball to right that Nick Castellanos came up and just came up and tried to make a play on it, of course. But, when you look at that play, and that was obviously the big play of the game, that we're going to give up a run anyway because Nick Castellanos probably isn't catching that ball. He sold out for it, little do-or-die play, which is great. But it honestly, that was probably going to be a hit anyway. If that was Fernando out there, maybe it's not a hit. And maybe the game's still tied, and maybe they're, trying to take the lead right now in extra innings. But right now, it's a tough game. That was a tough game for the Padres. But again, Nick Castellanos is the only, really big play. And honestly, I don't even really mind it too much because after that ball landed and kind of rolled past Nick Castellanos, if they were able to get a couple more runs after that, I would say it'd be a little bit more of a problem. But it wasn't. They ended up getting out of the inning. They gave up the 1 run. He was going to score anyway. You got to be able to score more than 2 runs to win a baseball game. Bullpen gave up the 1 run for the Padres. That is their big strength. And the Cardinals bullpen shut things down for a team that's the 27th best bullpen out of 30 teams in Major League Baseball. So it's going to happen like that. It's a big hang with them. You got to be ready to go tomorrow night, a Friday night game, and try to take it to the Cardinals over the weekend for now a 3-game series after losing game number 1. So when we come back, we're going to talk about the highlights. We're going to get to Craig Stammen. We're going to get to a lot of different things. If you want to join the show today, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. This is the Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show. We'll have highlights when we come back. Padres lose it today 2-1 to the St. Louis Cardinals as we start the postgame show on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97 through the Fan. Welcome back to the Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show. I'm Braden Surprenant filling in for Sam Levitt. Hey, player, with epic SoCal views, full bar, and poolside bites, Starlight Pool at Jamul Casino Resort is pool season. Perfected and day passes are available. Jamul Casino Resort, the player's place. I'm Braden Surprenant filling in for Sam Levitt on the Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show. Padres drop one tonight. 2-1 to the St. Louis Cardinals. How did we get to this spot? Let's get to today's highlights.
Which moments determine the outcome of today's game? We'll paint you a picture with our game highlights on the Padres Radio Network.
Well, it was a pitcher's duel today between Michael King and Matthew Liberatore because both pitchers did not have too much to deal with today. Both of them end up having almost the exact same stat line. And after a walk in the first inning and Michael King getting out of that situation, it was the Padres' turn in the bottom half of the first. It was the only time the Padres would score today. Ground out by Jackson Merrill. Miguel Andujar struck out swinging. Machado works a 2-out walk. And then Fernando hits one, a scorcher to left center field for a base hit. That puts runners on first and second. And then Xander Bogaerts comes to the dish. And when you're hot, you're hot. A 264-foot check swing plates the first run for the Padres.
Here's a 1-2. Bogaerts kind of a check swing looper into right field. That's going to get down at a base hit. Walker plays it on a hop. His throw goes to third. Machado comes in to score. And thank you very much. It's 1-0.
Thank you very much is right. Padres take advantage of that check swing after a 2-out walk. Fernando knock. And the Padres are up 1-0. That was part of one of our keys to the game. Get on Matthew Liberatore early, score the first run. Unfortunately for the Padres, they were unable to add any runs the rest of the way. For the St. Louis Cardinals, though, after a couple of innings of having fits with Michael King, in fact, a 1-2-3 inning in the second, a 1-2-3 inning in the third, and then after Ivan Herrera struck out swinging, Alec Burleson, man, he barreled one up, and it left the yard in a hurry.
First inning. And he launches one to right field. Castellanos back to watch, and it's going to go. A line drive, home run to right field, and Burleson with his 6th of the year. First hit of the night for the Cardinals, and it'll tie the game 1-1, and that changeup did not go where Michael King wanted it to go.
So Michael King gives up the home run, but for Michael King, that was the only hit he gave up all day. He goes 6 innings tonight, 1 earned run, 1 hit, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. He gave up the lone home run to Alec Burleson, and you're sitting pretty right now, right? 6 innings in, you're tied 1-1, and then you go to the bullpen. Now, I'm sure there will be some questions about whether or not you leave Michael King in with 86 pitches. I'm sure we'll talk about on the talk shows tomorrow about that. He had really good stuff. He only gave up 1 hit, but the Padres decide to go to the bullpen in the 7th after not getting anything going in the 6th. In the top half of the 7th inning, Bradley Rodriguez comes into the game in relief of Michael King, and he gives up a leadoff double to left field. It was close to going out. It could have been a solo shot to get things started. It was Jordan Walker with the double. Nolan Gorman then punches out, And then with a runner on second base, it was Mason Wynn with a fly ball to right.
No balls and a strike the pitch. And Wynn lines it off the end of the bat the other way. Castellanos in and over towards the line. Slides forward, can't get to it. It bounces and rolls behind him. Cardinals going to take the lead. Walker into score. Wynn is speeding towards third base, and he will stand there with an RBI triple. St. Louis ahead for the first time tonight. It's 2-1.
Cardinals got the lead in the 7th inning on the top half, and then it was up to Fernando, Xander, and Laureano in the bottom half. Fernando led things off with an infield single, beat one out for his second hit of the contest, but then was thrown out at second base, caught stealing 2-4. Very questionable on the review. I think a lot of people here in the building thought that Fernando was safe after he was originally called out. Padres reviewed it. It goes to New York. They come back. They say the call stands. I'm up in the press box with Mike Winters, former MLB umpire. He said, well, based on the angles, it's not necessarily conclusive because some of the angles look like, that he was out. So, that was just his interpretation of it. That's not what Major League Baseball said, obviously, just kind of giving you some perspective on that. But an unfortunate call to not go the Padres' way. After that, it was a strikeout by Bogaerts, and it ended up being a 1-2-3 inning for the Padres in the 7th. They would then go 1-2-3 in the 8th, and then they get to the 9th inning. Jackson Merrill leading things off against Riley O'Brien. He grounds out. Miguel Andujar strikes out, and then Manny Machado grounds out to shortstop, and that was all she wrote for the Padres. Tonight, Padres score 1 run on 4 hits, no errors. They leave 2 on base. St. Louis Cardinals, 2 runs on 5 hits, no errors. They left 6 on base. Winning pitcher tonight, Matthew Liberatore. He is now 2-1. Bradley Rodriguez gets the loss. He is now 0-2. Riley O'Brien picks up his 11th save already on the season. Time of the ball game tonight. It was a quick one, 2 hours and 25 minutes. Played in front of 44,966 on a 64-degree, partly cloudy evening in America's finest city. Padres lose it tonight, 2-1 to the St. Louis Cardinals. When we come back, what did Craig Stammen, the manager, have to say about today's game? He joined the media. We'll throw it down to the clubhouse in just a bit. But first, we're going to take a break. Padres lose it tonight, 2-1 to the St. Louis Cardinals. I'm Braden Surprenant, filling in for Sam Levitt. You're listening to the Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show on the Padres Radio Network. Welcome back to the Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show. Hey, player, the rooftop pool's open. Day passes are available, and the spa is calling your name. Jamul Casino Resort, the player's place. I'm Braden Surprenant, filling in for Sam Levitt at the night off today. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm usually on from 10 to 2 on San Diego's number one sports station, 97.3 The Fans, part of the Braden Surprenant show. So a lot of people in the YouTube comments today asking who I am. That's who I am. I had a couple people come up and ask me that at the loft, too. They're like, "You're not Sam." No, I'm not. I'm not Sam. Which is your name? Braden. Oh, like the guy in the middle of the day? Yeah, that'd be me. It's funny how that works sometimes. Hi, how you doing? All right, let's talk more about what's going on with the Padres again from tonight. Again, they lose 2-1 to the St. Louis Cardinals. Overall, not a bad game. I mean, in terms of like being a tight one. Offensively, Padres didn't really get anything going. Defensively, or should I say pitching, Michael King was great. 6 innings, 1 earned run, 1 hit, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. He gave up the 1 home run. That was the only hit he allowed all night. Had 86 pitches tonight. I think probably there might be some question about whether or not, why didn't he go an extra inning? He goes 6 tonight. Your offense got to be able to score more than 1 run if you want to beat anybody really in Major League Baseball. For a lot of the questions, let's go down to the clubhouse and hear from Craig Stammen, who meets with the media.
Let's pull up a seat in the manager's office and hear from Padres skipper Craig Stammen. Served up by Sinley Food. If you've had better chicken, you must be a rooster.
Craig, how difficult is it when you guys, you're just not getting much going early in the games, and then it just leaves that the last few innings have to go your way, both offensively and then, you can't have balls falling. And
yeah, that's right. It's if you gotta get some offense early, got a little bit of a cushion, but they didn't have a cushion either at the end of the game. So we scored in the first, which is a win. Xander getting picked off maybe killed a little bit of momentum we had in the first, but that stuff happens. We just gotta, figure a way to build those same kind of bats that we built with 2 outs there in that first inning. We just weren't able to do it.
I know that Michael had gone into the 7th the last couple of times, giving up a couple hits. Did that play into it, or how was he feeling after 6 tonight?
Yeah, he was feeling good. He definitely wanted to go another inning. We had kind of decided pregame that, his workload over the past 3 or 4 starts, warranted, maybe slightly less workload tonight. And we felt that, he kind of cruised through those 6 innings. Felt like it was a good time to hand it over to the bullpen.
Did the way he pitched tonight, did that make you think twice kind of about that, about potentially giving him that 7th?
Oh, yeah. Every time he pitches makes me think twice about leaving him in the game or taking him out of the game. He's a great pitcher, and he was on his game tonight. It was fun to watch.
What did you make of his numbers have been good so far, but it looked like tonight maybe his command was a little better?
Yeah, I think, his command was definitely better, and I think he had the changeup working really well. He matched up good against these hitters with that changeup, all the lefties that they had in the lineup. And then he had the sweeper going to the righties. So he just had that good mix against righties and lefties tonight that, kept those guys off balance and really limited them, just to one big swing.
What did you see on Wynn's go-ahead triple? Tough play for Nick?
Tough play for Nick. He went for it. Can't fault him on that. He makes that catch. He's, a foot away or whatever it was, from basically changing the game and keeping it where it was. That ball, if he just lets it fall, does the guy from second score? I don't know. Probably not. Maybe. Who knows? But he went for it. That's what we want our players to do. We want them to go for it. We want them to play with freedom. And, him going for it, felt like he could get it. And, sometimes you get it. Sometimes you don't.
You can have a platinum glover or gold glover at every spot, but when you have to move Fernando in, I'm assuming because of the lefty, it does leave you vulnerable to that. I mean, how much does that go into considering where you're going to play guys?
Not a ton, honestly. We're trying to score runs, and you want to play offense. You want to play offense early and get ahead, and then you can put your defense in late is kind of, the way I look at it. You just can't have both at all times. And, right now we're just not scoring a ton of runs. So I feel like get as many good bats in there as we can with a good matchup and see if we can outscore the other team a little earlier, but we're not able to do that tonight.
I think I know the answer to this. Your thoughts? It seemed that Fernando was safe at second there. And what did you see?
I can only see what's on the scoreboard. And my opinion was not the same as the umpires.
You could have had a defensive replacement out there in the 7th inning for Nick too, right? What was your thoughts on that?
Well, we want his bat in the lineup, and we felt like we needed to score some runs. And so in a tie game, you want him swinging the bat. He's been swinging the bat hot here, and that's what we're thinking. You can't, if I'm like guessing the ball's going to get hit the right field, I'm going to be guessing wrong a lot.
That was Craig Stammen talking with the media after today's game as the Padres lose 2-1 to the St. Louis Cardinals. I'm Braden Surprenant filling in for Sam Levitt on the Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show. If you want to join the show, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. I think a lot of people might be, maybe frustrated with the way the game went tonight. Tonight was like any other game in Major League Baseball. I mean, this is a game that teams lose a lot. Kind of things didn't go your way. You got picked off in the first inning. I agree with Craig Stammen. That sort of thing happens a decent amount. That's not something that's overly crazy. I know some people in the YouTube comments were like so upset about that. I know it was a little bit of a rally. It was a 2-out rally in the first inning. Got to run. You got to be able to add on in other innings. You can look to this offense and just look how many times they went down 1-2-3 tonight. It was very common. In fact, the Padres got shut down 1-2-3 in the second. They got shut down 1-2-3 in the fourth. They got shut down 1-2-3 in the fifth. They got shut down 1-2-3 in the seventh, 1-2-3 in the eighth, 1-2-3 in the ninth. They got a couple of guys on, but they got the caught stealing in the seventh inning. They hit into a double play in the fifth inning. They hit into a double play in the third inning. I mean, overall, Padres really didn't get anything going offensively except for the 2-out rally in the first inning on a walk and a single and then a bloop, or not a bloop shot, but a check swing that went 264 feet. I mean, it just wasn't a good night for the offense collectively. And that's saying so. I mean, like, Fernando had 2 hits today. He was 2 for 3. Bogart's 1 for 3 on that double, check swing double. Andujar had a hit. That's it. That's the 4 hits the Padres got tonight. But for the Cardinals, they got 5 hits total. One of them just went over the fence. And then on the play in right field, now you can second guess, whether or not you should have had a defensive replacement in. I think it would have been a little bit head scratching for people, to justify, if you put Bryce Johnson in right field there's no guarantee that ball is going to be caught. I think if Bryce Johnson is out there or Fernando is out there, the odds of it are probably a lot better that he might catch that ball. But even the ball trickling past Castellanos, even if he plays it cautiously, it drops in for a hit. And that guy at third base is scoring or second, wherever he was at the time, is scoring anyway. And then after that, Bradley Rodriguez didn't allow any other runs. So it didn't spiral into more runs, which I think is fine. I mean, you got a guy like that in the outfield. Okay. So you're not going to, it's not always going to be perfect on defense. And you wanted his bat in the lineup. I mean, the way he was swinging, he went, he finished the game, 0 for 3. So had one more at bat later on. He ends up strikeout looking, but at this point, I think you could, people are going to second guess that more times than not. Overall, some of the moves I don't think the moves that Craig Stammen made tonight are moves that are just catastrophically bad moves where, in the moment you're going, what is he doing? You know what I'm saying? So I think, you could make the argument that maybe you let Michael King go another inning, but I'm not necessarily in a position of he had to go another inning at 86 pitches. They felt comfortable with put it onto the bullpen. The bullpen's one of the better ones in baseball. With the game tied at 1, and knowing your bullpen compared to what the Cardinals bullpen is so far this season, I'd take my chances with the bullpen. I really would. I mean, I thought Michael King pitched great. Maybe you go one more inning. Let's go back to that. To me, and whether or not you use the defensive replacement in the outfield are the two relatively questionable calls, if you will. But I don't even think they're that questionable. I honestly think those are moves that I'd probably make myself. They're not, they just look bad now because you look back to try to find out where things went wrong. But overall, there was a couple of mistakes made tonight. When you're playing a 2-1, when you're playing a tight ball game and it's tied at 1, those little mistakes are going to end up costing you. And you made a couple of more mistakes than the Cardinals did tonight. And the Cardinals took advantage. I mean, I know you don't want to tip your cap, but they played better tonight, slightly. I mean, it wasn't even that. They had one extra hit and one extra run. It wasn't like they dominated the Padres tonight. But overall, interesting game. You got to like the way Michael King played today, and or the way he pitched today. Offense, don't really like it too much. Tatis hit the ball hard again. I know a lot of fans are probably tired of hearing us say that, but that's kind of the gist of the game tonight. There wasn't much more to it than that. Brian's stuff looked nasty. I mean, he 11 saves, 2 ERA. Look out for Riley O'Brien. I mean, it's gonna be hard to figure out. The 100-mile-an-hour sinker. That was disgusting. What he had up there. I mean, Andujar looked like confused at that last pitch that he saw from O'Brien. It just shows you how good O'Brien is, because Andujar has been on fire all season. He's at 305 with 817 OPS. Pretty impressive. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973 if you want to join the show. Let's head out to Eric at Chula Vista. You're on the Jamul Casino Padres post-game show with Braden Surprenant. What's going on, Eric?
Hey, Brandon. Good to see you on the post-game show. That's pretty cool, man. Hey, great pitching matchup tonight between both guys. They both had their best performance of the season so far. And it's easy to point to like mistakes, like you mentioned, when the team loses. But I think one of the obvious things is the Padres still can't score. We have our onesies, twosies where we put up 5, 6, 7, 8 runs, but I think that the trend here is, low amount of hits. We don't score a whole lot of runs, and we don't hit per slug. And we're not facing an easy pitcher tomorrow either. So, I feel comfortable with the Padres, one game out, and I think they're doing the right thing. Thanks, Brendan.
I appreciate the call, Eric. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is today. They're in a little bit of a slump. And last year, again, I go back to last year, they didn't hit for a while. They won 90 games, made the playoffs. You want to talk about, not advancing to the playoffs, fine, whatever. But the Padres are in a good spot right now. It's early in the season. It's May, and things could be a lot worse. It's a tough loss tonight. Cardinals just outdid you by a smidge. It wasn't like they had this super impressive game either. I mean, they got completely shut down by Michael King, and they only got one hit through the first 6 innings. That led to a run. Padres had 3 hits and scored 1 run. So it is what it is. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. AJ in San Diego, you're on the Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show. AJ, what's going on, man?
Hey, first of all, love listening to you in the daytime, and now I get to listen at night. I love it. Let's do this.
I appreciate that. It's a long day today, man. I'm starting to fall. I'm starting to tire out a little bit.
A couple of vodka Red Bulls will fix that. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, there you go.
So I was really hoping for Duran to have a Roy Hobbs moment, and to 600 plus games in the minors and come up to the bigs, and not just come up, but come up and show up. And I was kind of bummed out, but hey, he's going to be our guy for a little bit, and I hope to see some good stuff from him. And for the last caller, we definitely need some offense. Doesn't matter how good the mound is, if Mason's not coming out, that means we're not coming out, and it was a bummer to have him not. I can only imagine how electric the stands would have been if Mason comes out on his own night and we crush it on a sold out crowd, but. Yeah, it's we gotta get some offense, and hopefully Duran can find a bat.
Yeah, I mean, he hit the ball pretty well. It's just he hit one to center field that probably could have been a home run. I think the expected batting average on that was like 900 something. He crushed that ball. He just got under it, and that ball's gone in El Paso. He quickly learned what the Marine layer is out here in San Diego and playing at Petco Park, because that ball was scorched and probably should have had an opportunity to give him a hit. He hit the ball well, I thought. It was just right at people. That's going to happen. But good for Rodolfo Duran. I mean, the guy's, played in the minor leagues for, over 200 games and has been down there for a long time. For him to make his major league debut, obviously probably something special for him and his family tonight. So unlucky, came up a little bit short on the hits, but, just that's a baseball game today. I know it's a cliche. That's baseball. That's what today was. That's baseball. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Casey in San Diego, you're on the Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show. What's going on, man?
Hey, Braden, really great to hear you at night, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
So I really happy to see Michael King with such a great command tonight. Like that was fantastic. Obviously the game didn't turn out the way we wanted to, but you can't act like the sky's falling every time we lose a game. It's baseball. But and I know you've heard this a lot during your daytime show, and I'm sure you're hearing it a lot tonight. But just like, and by the way, let me preface this by saying I love what Stammen's doing. I mean, I love the fact that he's giving guys rest, and I love the fact that he's, I'm really pleased with what I'm seeing with Stammen. But like, I cannot get behind this Fernando to second base move. I mean, he's a platinum glove right fielder, and we're wasting him at second base. We're wasting his speed. We're wasting his arm. I know some guys got to get rest, but I think there's some other options. Look, you're right. Anything could have happened in right field tonight. I don't want to put this all on Nick, but like, yeah, if Fernando's out there, he catches that ball, and anything else could have happened, sure. But like, I don't like the fact that Nando's playing in the infield at all. I mean, he's a platinum glove right fielder. We're wasting him at second base, and that's the thing that's most frustrating to me. I love everything else that Stammen's doing, but this is the one thing that I just can't get behind.
Yeah, the second base thing is interesting. I mean, obviously, like he's one of your more athletic players on the team, probably your most athletic player on the team. And usually you don't put your most athletic player at second base. I don't think it's I really don't think him playing in the infield really is the driving force to his offense. I know the splits say he has done better. I think some of those numbers are skewed for his first couple of years when he was playing shortstop. Obviously, before the major injuries, before the suspension, all that. I mean, to me, I don't really want to say, because when you go to Baseball Reference, you look at his splits when it comes to what he hits when he's an infielder and what he hits when he's an outfielder. He's put up a lot better numbers in the infield, but I don't necessarily think it's because he's playing in the infield. So I know that's kind of like keep him engaged a little bit. I know it's trying to get more bats in the lineup, and that's how I would do it too. I would rather get the 9 best bats out there than have the 9 best gloves, because you don't see anybody building a team that's like, oh, we got the 9 best gloves out here. Otherwise, you would be seeing it all over the place, and guys that could flash the leather would be making, tons of money. You have to be able to get some sticks in the lineup. And when you got a guy as versatile as Fernando, you could move him to second base, which means you could get Castellanos in the game, who had been swinging really well. He was hitting .455 in his last 3 games. I know it's a small sample size, but he was really trending in the right direction. Ty France has put up good numbers this year. Miguel Andujar, you got to have him in the lineup. And however way you cut it, somebody's going to have to play in the outfield or in a spot that's not really theirs. And for the Padres, they put Fernando at second base. I get the frustration. I think it's even more frustrating for a lot of fans seeing, Castellanos. I mean, he's not a great defender to begin with. I like the effort there out of Nick. I mean, he sold out for that ball. You can't knock the effort out of Nick Castellanos, and it ended up not costing you any extra runs. If he decides to just keep it in front of him, it's still a knock. It's still going to score a run anyway. And I know if you have a guy like Fernando out there, he's probably catching the ball, but you still got to find a way to score a run. And the Padres went down 1-2-3 almost every single inning tonight. In the innings they didn't go down 1-2-3, they hit into a double play or got thrown out trying to steal a bag. So, yeah, it was more the offense tonight than anything else. I appreciate the phone call, Casey. Thanks again for the nice words, man. And we'll talk to you tomorrow from 10 to 2. Last caller on the line right now, Dan in San Diego. Dan, you're on the Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show. What's going on?
I have to disagree with you there on, the Castellanos. He is a terrible defender. He was so slow that he had no chance of getting there because he shouldn't have been out there. And what made it even worse is he's out there in the 9th inning. There a couple of those balls got ripped down the right field line. If they would have fallen in, then more runs would have scored. Terrible decision putting him out there. How bad must Andujar be if he can only be the DH? I mean, this team needs to have its best defenders out there because we're not scoring a lot of runs, so we have to prevent as many as possible. And Castellanos isn't giving us much with the bat at all, so why put him out there in the field?
He was hot the last couple of days. You got to keep it, and everybody wants more slug on the team. You got to give a nice chance.
He's not hot.
He's hitting 455 in his last 3 games. I mean, he's starting to feel it a little bit. So you play the hotter hand. I mean, that's their decision making on this, and why they had him out there.
Song out there in the field. We could have had Song in the field. He could at least make some things happen to get on base, because you can't score runs if you can't get on base. You can't be swinging for the fence all the time. That's not going to happen. And then, Stammen's idiotic lineup tonight. Why would you take away Fernando's legs by putting him, after Manny, who's so slow, unless you're just expecting him not to, run out a ground ball, which is normal. But you got to have Merrill, Laureano, and Tatis in the lineup in an order to not take their legs away. You can't put them in between slow runners. You just can't. We're not going to score runs taking their legs away. And that's what we need. We need to score runs.
Well, I appreciate the phone call, Dan. Got to score runs, so you got to make sure you have your best defenders out there, because that makes a lot of sense. I mean, I get the running thing, but the other thing, too, this is what I like about Craig Stammen. He's using everybody. You have to use the guys on this team. It has been a big plus to why they're winning games, is because they have the depth and because these guys are getting reps and they're playing in the game. That's what has made this team win right now, because the stars aren't playing at a star level, and so everybody else is filling in nicely. And the way to do that is by playing and getting guys opportunities. Like, look, if you want to say, like, Nick Castellanos, you want Nick Castellanos out there, eventually he's got to play. Otherwise, there's no reason to have him on the team. You want to talk about that conversation? Then the Padres can have that conversation, but you got to go find somebody else coming up from the minor leagues. So, honestly, I don't think the loss is on the fact that Nick Castellanos was playing in the later innings. Here's the other thing, too. Like, the play happened in the 7th, and you can't just, assume bad things are going to happen with him in the outfield in the 9th when they wanted to keep his bat out there. It's give and take. Okay, you got to find. They're trying to find the right recipe. They lost 2-1 tonight. Everybody in the lineup didn't hit except for Fernando, Xander, and Andujar, and that was it. And I don't think you're going to see a lot of Andujar in the field. I mean, I don't think that's the case. And you know what? I mean, I think you answered the question yourself. The fact that they would rather put Castellanos in right field than Miguel Andujar, I think tells you everything you need to know about what they think of certain players on the team. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Padres 22-14 on the year. They lose the game today 2-1. Michael King was excellent, going 6 innings, 1 earned run, 1 hit, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. Unfortunately, Bradley Rodriguez gave up a leadoff double. That led to a hit by Mason Wynn, ended up being a triple. He stranded Wynn there on the next 2 batters, and that 1 extra run was all she wrote. Padres lose 2-1. Unable to get anything going offensively. After that, they got a leadoff hit by Fernando. He was caught stealing in the 7th, and then couldn't drive in any runners after that. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. When we come back, we'll take a look at the heart of the order. We'll talk about the relief pitcher of the game. Still got to get to the out-of-town scoreboard and the play of the game. Still rolling here on a Thursday night from the loft at Petco Park on the Jamul Casino Resort. Padres postgame show on the Padres Radio Network. Welcome back to the Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show. Padres drop one to the Cardinals. Game one of a 4-game series, 2-1. Couldn't get the bats going tonight. Had a little bit of a rally in the first inning, a 2-out rally. Xander Bogaerts got picked off at first base to end the first, and that was really the only success that they had today against Matthew Liberatore and the St. Louis Cardinals. I'm Braden Surprenant filling in for Sam Levitt tonight. We do got to get to some other news and notes for you about tonight's game. Let's get to today's Heart of the Order.
Let's take the pulse of the Padres and check in on the Heart of the Order, presented by Palomar Health, the official healthcare provider of 97.3 The Fan. Palomar Health, leading with heart for every patient. Palomar Health is reimagining healthcare.
Well, the Heart of the Order tonight actually did most of the damage. They were at 3 for 9 with a run scored and an RBI. And outside of that, everybody else did not do very well. They went what is that? I'm trying to do math in my head real quick. 1 for 18. So the rest of the order was 1 for 18. The Heart of the Order tonight was 3 for 9, scored the 1 run, and had the 3 hits, 2 from Fernando, 1 for Bogaerts. Fernando led the team in hits tonight with his 2 singles. But other than that, not a lot of offense today for your San Diego Padres as they drop the game to the Cardinals 2-1. Game 1 of a 4-game set. They will be back in action tomorrow at 6:45. Game is on Apple TV Plus, so you will have the radio coverage for you right here on 97 through the Fan of the Padres Radio Network. Pregame show, the Ecowater SoCal Padres pregame show with Sam Levitt tomorrow at 5:45 for the 6:45 start as the Padres will try to even up the series tomorrow. Other news that we got to get to, let's get to our relief pitcher of the game.
Which pitcher entered the game and slammed the door shut? This is today's relief pitcher of the game, brought to you by San Diego criminal defense attorney David P. Shapiro. We help good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime. Learn more at davidpshapirolaw.com.
Wandy deals, and a ground ball sharply to second. Fernando has it. 2 second, that's one. Bogaerts' turn, just in time, a double play. Took a little long to get it done. Cardinals going to hold it up, see if they want a challenge, but for the moment, the inning is over. Wandy Peralta was looking for his ground ball. He got his ground ball. Cardinals are still waiting. They will not challenge, and the inning is over.
Wandy Peralta, how about that? I had to call out our guy, Nick, in the back. He was like, hey, man, I don't know what you're putting in Wandy. 0 for Wandy today. ZRA's under a 3.3. How about that? Wandy Peralta, he didn't look very good out of the gate. Wandy Peralta gave up a single, walk, but he got Victor Scott caught stealing 2-6. Great, by the way, Rodolfo Duran. I thought the player today making his major league debut, hit the ball pretty well. It was right at people. He did throw out a runner, Victor Scott the second. That was pretty big because then you got the inning-ending double play right after the fact, which is awesome. So that's great. I thought that was a great little sequence right there. Wandy gets out of the jam. Probably don't want him to get himself in the jam to begin with, but he is a relief pitcher of the game. We got to get to the conclusion of the show. It's in a late night out here at Petco Park. Quick game, 2 hours and 25 minutes. When we come back, we'll get you the out-of-town scoreboard. We'll get you the play of the game. Get back to your phone calls if you got any. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Kind of wrap things up on this game. Get you ready for tomorrow and the talk shows tomorrow as well as we continue on the Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show with Braden Surprenant on the Padres Radio Network.
Oh, man. And the Padres don't have a challenge, of course, but they can ask for a crew chief review, and why wouldn't they?
Yeah, nice little throw out for Duran. Caught stealing. Rodolfo Duran making his major league debut tonight. Had a couple of hard hit balls, but unfortunately came up a little bit short on those. Padres come up a little bit short, 2-1. I'm Braden Surprenant. Thanks again for tuning in to the Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show. Filling in for Sam Levitt. Sam will be back tomorrow. We'll be back in action tomorrow, too, from 10 to 2. Frank Marchese and myself, Braden Surprenant, on the Braden Surprenant Show. If you haven't tuned in, we are on each and every day from 10 to 2. More opinion-based, obviously, in that. This is more of a news-based, if you will, on the Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show. But appreciate you guys all tuning in tonight. Obviously, tough one for the Pods, losing tonight 2-1. But overall, Michael King was great. Unfortunately, the Padres offense was not. It wasn't very good. So they dropped the game to the Cardinals 2-1. Let's get to what else went on in baseball today. The Padres, we were the only game on tonight, as everybody else had been finished before the Padres even started. There was a grand total of 9 games besides the Padres game on a Thursday. Let's take a look around Major League Baseball.
Let's take a trip around the bigs to highlight the scores that matter most with our out-of-town scoreboard. Presented by Jensen Premium Beef Patties. Always a hit for grilling.
All right, let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard with some games that happened all earlier today, all done before the Padres even started. We'll start in the Bronx. So the New York Yankees hammered the Texas Rangers 9-2. Mackenzie Gore got hit with the loss. He is now 2-3 with a 5.18 ERA for the Texas Rangers. Brent Hedrick got the dub. He is now 3-0 as Ezekiel Duran got a homer for the Rangers in the loss, his second of the season. Other American League games, the Cleveland Guardians beat the Kansas City Royals 8-5. Slade Ciccone got the win. He is now 2-4 on the season. Seth Lugo gets hit with the loss. He is 1-2. Cade Smith gets his 10th save of the year for the Guardians as they improve to 20-19 and in first place in the American League Central. Other American League games for you, that was it except for Tampa Bay and Boston. The only other ESPN game tonight, Tampa doubles up the Red Sox 8-4 in Beantown. They improved to 25-12 on the year and now just a half game back of the New York Yankees in the American League East. Hunter Biggie gets the win. He is 1-0. Jake Bennett takes the loss. He is now 1-1 as the Rays put up 8 runs on 13 hits to beat the Bo Sox 8-4. Interleague action, Twins and Nationals from our nation's capital. The Washington Nationals win 7-5 over the Minnesota Twins. TJ Poulin gets the win. He is 3-0. John Klein takes the loss. He is 0-1. Gus Varland gets his 4th save of the season. Twins on a little bit of a skid now. They're now 16-22 on the year. Nationals improved to 18-20. Other interleague games for you. The A's and the Phillies from the city of brotherly love. It was all athletics where they used to have their hometown. They win 12-1 over the Phillies. Phillies been struggling all year. They got 1 run on 6 hits today against the Athletics as JT Ginn gets the dub. He is now 1-1. Andrew Painter the loss. He is 1-4. Orioles and Marlins down in South Beach. Miami wins 4-3. Both teams are now 17-21 on the year. Calvin Fauché, the Hilltop Lancer, gets the dub for Miami tonight. He is now 3-2 on the year. Bullpen arm for the Miami Marlins. Hilltop Lancer, UC Irvine Anteater, Calvin Fauché. Andrew Kittredge gets the loss today for the Orioles. He is 0-1. In the National League, Reds and Cubs had an interesting one in Chicago. Northsiders win 8-3 over the Red Stockings. They win as the Reds score 3 runs late, but it was a 7-run inning for the Cubs in the 4th as they hammer the Reds 8-3. Shota Imanaga gets the win. Rhett Lauder, who left the game early due to injury, takes the loss. He is 3-3. And Daniel Palencia gets his second save of the season for Chicago. At Coors Field in the mountains of Denver, 6-2 victory for the Colorado Rockies. It snaps a 3-game winning streak for the Mets. Mets 14-23 on the year. With the win for the Rockies, they have now passed the Giants and are no longer in last place. They're in front of them by a half a game. Look at that. Good for Colorado. Antonio Sensatelli gets the win. He is 2-0. Craig Kimbrell takes the loss. He is 0-2. Pirates over the D-backs 4-2. Mitch Keller gets the dub for the Buccos. Zach Gallen the loss. He's 1-3. Gregory Soto picks up his third save of the year. Pirates double up the D-backs 4-2 in Arizona. And that's a look at what was going on throughout Major League Baseball today. Let's get one more phone call in if we can. Marcos in San Diego, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Marcos, what's going on, man?
Hey, not much. How's it going tonight?
I'm doing well.
There we go. Yeah, no, I was at the game today, and, overall, it was a great game. King pitched great. I do think, he should have Stammen should have let him go that one more inning. But besides that, it was a hard-fought game. Not a lot of hitting on the offense. But in general, I do think that Laureano, should be batting a little bit higher in the lineup. Obviously, we have streaky hitters. Sometimes we have a player that comes in the clutch more than others. But Laureano being there, maybe 2, I like Merrill at 1, but I think Laureano at 2, he just brings like a presence where it's like he's a dog, he's in a battle. And I feel like him being up there might have given us more of an opportunity, to maybe get another hit, maybe get on base a little more.
Yeah, I think eventually he might move back up there, Marcos. I think right now, after batting him leadoff for 20-something games or whatever it was, and that being kind of the black hole spot of this Padres offense, I think they moved him down to be, to really find himself and get a little bit more, back to what he was. I mean, he was raking that low in the lineup last year and to be start this year. I think eventually he'll probably move up a little bit more in the lineup. I like where your thinking's at. But again, it's May, and they're going to tweak the lineup a little bit. But I appreciate the phone call, Marcus. Thanks again for joining us tonight. Before we kind of wrap this thing up, let's get to today's play of the game.
One bounce, one hit, one pitch can be the difference between victory and defeat. What was the most important play in today's game? This is today's play of the game. Presented by Bill Howe Plumbing, Heating and Air, Restoration and Flood. We know how.
No balls and a strike to pitch. And Wynn lines it off the end of the bat the other way. Castellanos in and over towards the line. Slides forward, can't get to it. It bounces and rolls behind him. Cardinals going to take the lead. Walker in to score. Wynn is speeding towards third base, and he will stand there with an RBI triple. St. Louis ahead for the first time tonight. It's 2-1.
That was the big swing of the bat. Mason Wynn got the triple. Nick Castellanos couldn't get there in time. A lot of people like, oh, why is Nick Castellanos out in the outfield? He's going to play. He's going to play. He's going to play. It's tough. I think a lot of people might think that Fernando could have caught that ball. Maybe he did. But you know what? Still, he scored 1 run. So they still could be playing right now based on the way the Padres had played. Offensively, getting retired almost 1, 2, 3, almost every single inning except for the first. They almost saw the minimum almost the entire time. And any time that they got multiple guys, or should I say anybody on base, it ended with a caught stealing or a double play. I mean, if you look at the overall line score for the Padres tonight, aside from the first inning, they were retired in order the rest of the way. The rest of the way. That's not great. They had 1 inning in the 6th where they actually had 4 guys come to bat, but very efficient pitching for the Cardinals. It was their night, wasn't the Padres' night. And the Cardinals, who didn't play overall that great either, and, but they were able to get it out last. Somebody asked, how did Palencia get the save if they won 8-3? That's because he pitched 3 innings. You can get a 3-inning save, if you will. So that was from the out-of-town scoreboard. Cubs had a 3-inning save today because Palencia pitched 3 innings. That was a way to get a save. The other one is if like the tying run comes to the plate and like on deck or whatever. I don't know what it is. There's some nuances to saves. I think Palencia threw 3 innings today. No, he did a third of an inning. He got a save, though, because he came in and there were the tying runner go-ahead run was like close to being on base or something like that. It's something dumb. So anyway, Padres lose to the Cardinals today 2-1. St. Louis improves to 22-15. Padres are 22-15. Both teams have the same record now. And this is game 1 of a 4-game series this weekend. Padres will be back at it tomorrow at 6:45. Again, a little bit of a different start time tomorrow because of all of the moving around with television. We have a nationally televised broadcast again tomorrow on Apple TV Plus, a Fox game on Saturday. Tomorrow's game is 6:45. So 5 minutes later than what you would usually get on a Friday. It will be Michael McGreevy and Griffin Canning, 2 Southern California products, dueling it out on the mound tomorrow for St. Louis and San Diego. Sam Levitt will have that EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show at 5:45 tomorrow. I will be on tomorrow from 10 to 2. Talk Padres baseball with all of you guys. Ben and Woods will start the day at 6 a.m. Gwynn and Chris will take over after me. Should be a fun day. But time to wrap it up. Cardinals win 2-1. They score 2 runs on 5 hits, no errors, leave 6 on base. Padres 1 run, 4 hits, no errors. They leave 2 on base. Winning pitcher tonight, Matthew Liberatore. He is now 2-1 on the year. Bradley Rodriguez takes the loss. He is 0-2. Riley O'Brien gets his 11th save of the season. Time of the ball game, 2 hours and 25 minutes, played in 44,966 on a 70-degree, partly cloudy evening in America's finest city. Big thanks to Nick DiNucci back in studio. Want to thank Jesse Aguilar, Tony Gwynn Jr., their engineer and producer, Dave Marcus. For Sam Levitt, I'm Braden Surprenant, signing off. Talk to you guys tomorrow at 10 in the morning for the Braden Surprenant Show. Padres lose it tonight 2-1 to the St. Louis Cardinals. You have been listening to the Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show on San Diego Summer Sports Station 97 to the Fan and Padres Radio Network.